New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Oh, we always have fun with that. Well, good evening, everyone. From the United States of America to the whole world, this is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus in the air chair this evening in the secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret that only two people know the location of the bunker. And they're both on tonight. That's Diego and the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. Everyone else, including Reverend Robert, has no idea where the super secure concrete bunker is located. Well, hi there, everyone. Good to see everyone this evening. Like always, we do have a really great show planned for you this evening. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comments below on Facebook. And again, for all of my shy people, I know you're out there. There's a lot more people to watch the show than comment. So if you could, just send me an email during the week, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. Would love to talk to you during the week. Again, while we're on the air here, we record this live, and we're going out live this evening. I don't have time to check on the email, but I usually do that during the week. So the purpose of our fireside chat here is to get real. We talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And again, as I keep saying over and over again, I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on around us, not only in the U.S., but also globally. And as I keep telling you, you do not have to agree with me. Again, Diego plays the disclaimer weekly, professionally done by my good friend Jay Silvers over in Pittsburgh. And we play that mostly because it's funny. However, there is a serious part of that in that they're my viewpoints, they're my opinions. I just want us all to start thinking about our oneness. So if we are one, like we talk about at our centers, then we all must have a part to play in what is going on in the world. And as our special guest this evening, we are pleased to have, taking the night off from Morton's Steakhouse, because she has to work Monday, we are pleased to have Amazon bestselling author, speaker, and minister, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning, whose Sunday evening masterclass is live here on the New Thought Media Network, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain Time. It's been highly successful. We have gotten a ton of views on it, not only during the show, but also during the week. So again, Reverend Dr. Manning will be on here in just a few. We'll talk about the news and also about a very special Valentine's Day show that we did last week live, but we're going to repeat it this Sunday with relationship expert Phil Clancy. What an interesting discussion on relationships and spirituality. So that'll be coming up. That'll be a replay of the show. That'll be, again, this coming Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Mountain here on the New Thought Media Network. To everyone out there, there she is. A beautiful, talented Charlette Manning. All right. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Valentine's Day is also called Saint Valentine's Day, or the Feast of Saint Valentine. It's celebrated annually on February 14th. It originated as a Christian feast day honoring one or two of the early Christian martyrs named Saint Valentine, and through folk tradition has become a significant cultural, religious, and commercial celebration of romance and love in many regions of the world, which means that my wife, who works for a customer service call center that is connected with an international jewelry firm, she has been inundated with phone calls. Where is my order? The Feast of St. Valentine, this is from Wikipedia. The Feast of St. Valentine was established by Pope Gisela in AD 1496 to be celebrated on February 14th in honor of St. Valentine of Rome, who died on that date in AD of 269. St. Valentine's Day is not a public holiday in this country, although it is the official feast day in the Anglican Communion. Those are the Episcopal folks, and also in the Lutheran Church. Many parts of the Eastern Orthodox Church also celebrate St. Valentine's Day on July 6th in honor of the Roman presbyter, that's St. Valentine, and on July 30th in honor of hero martyr Valentine, who was another bishop in the early Christian church. The rise of the internet popularity at the turn of the millennium is creating a new tradition here. Millions of people each and every year through digital means are sending cards, such as e-cards, love coupons, or printable greeting cards. Again, St. Valentine's Day is considered by some to be a hallmark holiday due to its commercialization. Now, we talked about this with Phil Clancy, so watch Charlette's show on Sunday evening. I think that was a real interesting discussion. So for all of you who are single out there, take yourself out for Valentine's Day. All right? And remember this, all healthy relationships start with self-love. So before you can give love to another, love yourself. And I know that Dr. Manning will have a few thoughts on Valentine's Day here in the second half of our program. Again, hi, good evening. Welcome. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. We are going to take a look at some of the news from CNN, the latest on the Ukraine and Russia tensions. Where things stand right now, tensions between Moscow and Kiev are at their highest in years, with a large Russian troop buildup near the shared borders of the two former Soviet republics. U.S. President Biden is holding a call with other world leaders on the situation in the Ukraine, a White House official told CNN. And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that a Russian invasion of the Ukraine could begin at any time. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan will brief reporters on the ongoing situation today. We do have, again, another story from CNN. New intel suggests that Russia is prepared to launch an attack before the Olympics end, a source says. Again, from CNN, the U.S. and its allies have new intelligence that suggests that Russia could launch an attack on the Ukraine even before the end of the Olympics. Multiple sources familiar with the matter told CNN. Previous assessments had suggested that Russia was unlikely to move into the Ukraine until after the Olympics on February 20th. The revelation of the new intelligence comes as the administration officials have dramatically ramped up the urgency of their public warnings related to the Ukraine in the past 24 hours. Biden also joined a meeting of his top national security advisors on Thursday evening in the White House Situation Room to discuss the crisis, a person familiar with the meeting said. So wars and rumors of wars. That's what the New Testament authors wrote about. So what can we do? Again, I talked about that oneness earlier. So this is where the people of consciousness come in to know the truth of peace in every troubling situation. Again, we're taught in classes, we're taught at our centers to see beyond the appearances and to see what is there spiritually. I really do believe that no one, including the Russians, want war. And also the Ukrainian people too. So let's just know for peace for that area and for all troubled areas. Well, hi, good evening, welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. We have a lot more people usually in our green room than usual. Diego is using our broadcast this evening to train other producers. So we welcome Bonnie and Joe with us this evening. Well, the Super Bowl is this Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. It will kick off Super Bowl, I think it's 61. Am I correct? I think that's it. We'll kick off at 6:30 p.m. on, 56. Super Bowl 56 kicks off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on this Sunday. It will be broadcast live on NBC and also streamed on Peacock. If you don't know who the two teams are, they are the Los Angeles Rams and Cincinnati Bengals. Go Bengals. Since we broadcast here from Ohio, it's being played in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, which is the home of the Rams and also the LA Chargers. So who's going to win? Diego, do you have any idea? Do you have any money bet on the game? How about Charlette? Charlette, do you have any money bet on the game? No, you don't? Okay. Well, good, because the betting spread right now is 4.5 points in favor of the Rams. So that means that Las Vegas, that the game's a toss-up right now. But more importantly, the commercials. If you have $7 million, you could have gotten a 30-second commercial on the Super Bowl. $7 million. And also the halftime show. This year's halftime show looks to be a rap hip-hop love fest with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar performing. The show is called Straight Outta Compton, directed by F. Gary Gray, who dubbed it The Call, and you can watch the teaser, which is on YouTube. And again, if you have $7 million, if you want to go ahead and spend it on a 30-second commercial for the New Thought Media Network, our Chief Operating Officer, Reverend Robert Brzezinski, would tell you, don't do it. Just give us the $7 million. We have other things that we could be doing with the money here. Another story that I wanted to call your attention to this evening, because we do talk a lot about social issues. Black FedEx driver allegedly shot by a white father and son says that he sees the similarities with Ahmaud Arbery case. And he said this, I feel it is my responsibility to speak up. A black FedEx driver who said he was shot by a white father and son while delivering packages in Mississippi can definitely see the similarities between his case and that of Ahmaud Arbery, the black man who was chased and murdered in South Georgia. That is why I feel it is my responsibility to speak up. D. Monterio Gibson, who's 24, said in an interview with CNN, because Ahmaud Arbery didn't survive to speak up for himself, So I want to take that upon myself to do that for me and for him as well. Asked on Friday if he believed that the men were trying to kill him, Gibson told CNN, honestly, in my humble opinion, I think that they were, because after they fired the initial shouts, they continued to chase me out of the city. So he was in an unmarked van that did not have the FedEx on it, and it was 7 o'clock at night. Interesting. Brandon Case was charged with felonious attempting to cause bodily injury with a firearm and a deadly weapon by shooting at the occupied vehicle with Gibson inside, per an affidavit provided to CNN by the Brookhaven Municipal Court that was signed on January 31st. According to affidavits, Gregory Case was driving the truck chasing Gibson, and Brandon Case was the man in the street pointing the gun at Gibson. Brookhaven Police Chief Kenneth Collins confirmed to CNN that Gregory is Brandon's father. Gibson told CNN that he was delivering packages to a home in Brookhaven, Mississippi around 7 o'clock p.m. on January 24th when he saw a white pickup truck coming from a house behind it. The truck approached Gibson and blew the horn at him, Gibson said. Now, what I find interesting is this. The suspects were not arrested for 8 days. Does that sound familiar? When Gibson called the police to report the shooting, he was told by the dispatcher that they had just received a call about a suspicious person at the same address. The case must go through the grand jury. The 14th Judicial District Attorney D. Bates told CNN in a statement, and the grand jury has the ability to charge whatever they find probable cause existing. Moore requested that the FBI investigate the case as a possible hate crime and said that he believed that the agency was taking the case seriously. Collins, the police chief, told CNN that the FBI came to his office on Thursday and picked up the case file. The FBI in Jackson, Mississippi, told CNN in a statement that it could not confirm whether the matters are under investigation, citing bureau policy. All right, as I've said before here, we have to continue putting pressure on the police and the prosecutor's office to be fair with everyone. Again, what would have happened in Mississippi if a white FedEx driver would have been shot at? Would there have been an 8-day wait to press charges? Now, what if a black father and his son was shooting at a FedEx driver in Mississippi? These are not isolated incidents. These keep happening here day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Racism is still ingrained in our consciousness, and we, being people of faith, need to keep calling it out so that we can end this. So in the news last week, there was a black MD woman who just completed her residency and was going into private practice. She had all the proper identification, and she wanted to start an account at a bank with a check from the hospital for over $16,000. She was refused because the bank employee could not believe that a black woman could be a doctor and or come in with that kind of money. Enough's enough here. Okay? Enough's enough. There needs to be consequences for individuals who act in racist ways. We can do better. And again, we do better by knowing the truth, not only about ourselves, but also other people. All right? Gosh, Diego, 8:20. Do I get an award? I did better than last week, didn't I? Diego's applauding in the background. We have announcements here, and then we'll go to a break and then have the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. I'm telling you, the show that we'll be replaying on Sunday with relationship expert Phil Clancy is a must-see. So even if you do watch the Super Bowl and watch the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Los Angeles Rams, that's not a prediction. That's just me goofing around. You can still watch the show later on. Again, all of our shows are archived on YouTube. All right. So great show, though. If you're not doing anything, if you're not interested in the Super Bowl, then come on. We'd love to have you aboard. Again, we're replaying the show from last weekend. And yours truly is currently parking himself at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org there. And only there you will find information about our wonderful Sunday gathering at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. So grab your big cup of coffee, I believe, your tea, your espresso, your boba tea, and please join us. I really do believe that we have one of the best services I've seen in New Thought. And again, that's at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time here. And again, we go ahead and right now is that we are broadcasting on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. This Sunday, we'll start our February theme on love with our spiritual director, practitioner Diana Mangus. So again, go to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join our Zoom call. Our service is also simulcast on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page. And also our Facebook page also has past broadcast of the Fireside Chat and yours truly when he's doing prayer on the New Thought Media Network. There is so much on the schedule that I can't even begin. Look at that. All the programming here on the New Thought Media Network, all kinds of classes. Our Sunday schedule's really getting extremely full here. We are reaching the world with this message. We finally have the technology to be able to do it. So we're asking you here to join in the vision by financially supporting this network. Your money does go a long way. And you get that double blessing, as I say, the blessing of giving, and also the blessing of knowing that your gift affects people not only in the United States, but also around the world. We just started up our Spanish programming with a Center for Spiritual Living down in Mexico City. We're expanding our international reach, again, to reach the planet with this positive spirituality. So join with us. ntmedia.org/donate. Again, you can give a very generous one-time gift, or you can do like myself and Dr. Manning do. We give on a monthly basis. The reason being is because, again, the vital mission that we're doing here, which again is to take this powerful message to the whole planet. All right. Okay. Time for a break, and then we'll be back with the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience, or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. contact us at info@ntmedia.org.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And it's really an honor to have on our program this evening, all the way from Washington, D.C., in our New Thought Media Network Bureau there, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Good. Diego's got those beautiful Valentine hearts behind us. Look at that.
Aw, isn't that nice for Valentine's
Hey, Diego,
Day?
I love you. Hey, Pastor Michael, how are you today?
I'm, as they say in the church, I feel blessed and highly favored. So, amen.
I tell you, I'm sitting backstage listening to you, and my temperature is rising and rising and rising. You know.
All right. So start off on whatever story you want to go with.
Oh my gosh. You know, sometimes you just want to shake your head. You just can't even imagine. I think of this young FedEx gentleman, you know, trying to make his deliveries. And I don't know if you're fully aware, but, you know, they have a lot of independent drivers that help Amazon and FedEx and all of these, and they use either Enterprise rental vans or Hertz rental vans and etc. They're all in my neighborhood. So we see them. But what I found very interesting, why is it that we always have to be the ones to explain? That just sticks in my craw. They said to this guy, if he wasn't trying to do something illegal, why didn't he stop and acknowledge? These guys are chasing him, shooting at him. Why didn't he stop and let them know? Duh. But not only that, they said he looked suspicious. Did you see the picture of those two guys that were chasing him?
They look pretty suspicious to me.
Suspicious. They look like card-carrying Klansmen. And I know the opinions expressed here are my own too, but I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. What you didn't mention, so let's talk about that one. Okay. Fortunately, this guy was not killed, but who knows how far they will go in terms of investigating. Now, these two men have been charged, but who really knows how far this will go? Hopefully, because so much attention, you can't hide Jack anymore. Okay, somebody's going to get you on camera or video, or your front porch ring. Somebody, if a truck comes on my street, my ringtone goes off. So you got video of stuff all the time. But what about Amir Locke? This kid was at his brother's house, no knock warrant again. Okay.
This is in Minneapolis, by the way. Go ahead.
Yes. George Floyd. All right. No knock. In the middle of the night, the kid's name's not even on the warrant. He's got a license to carry the firearm he had with him. He did not turn the gun toward the police. He picked the gun up and the gun. But again, why do we have to always explain our way out of a situation? What happened to, you are innocent until proven guilty? Okay, it is always. Now that we got two incidences right here. Now on the flip side of that, we have a president who made an announcement while he was running for president that if, when, and how he was given the opportunity to put a justice on the Supreme Court, he made a commitment that he would appoint a Black woman to the court.
Yes.
It has brought up so much brouhaha. I mean, they haven't had this much of a firestorm on an appointment to the court since Thurgood Marshall.
Well, many people, even in New Thought, and I have these discussions with individuals, again, they think everything's since the civil rights movement, everything's on an even playing field.
No.
And the truth of it is it's not. And that individuals of faith, not only from our movement, but also from people of faith around the world, again, are standing up and saying, enough's enough here. Is that no more? We live in the 21st century here. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I don't disagree with that. However, there are not enough people standing up. I mean, the fact that this is happening in every single discipline from, the NFL. Look at the coach that was fired by Miami Dolphins, who is filing a lawsuit. I mean, it gets more, and we go from the sublime to the ridiculous until you get caught. You continue to do these same practices. Now, my thing is this. When it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a freaking duck.
No.
It's
Are you
a
kidding?
freaking duck.
Okay.
Now, let's just call it what it is. Nobody in their right mind can honestly and truthfully say that we live in a fair and equitable, equal society. Nobody can ever say that. The only top rung of the ladder is a white male over 60. That's it. Everybody else is a minority. Everybody else. You have to kowtow to the likings of or the belief systems of those people. Now, having said that, we have 4 women. I heard today on CNN or on MSNBC, I think it was, Lester Holt had a conversation with President Biden. I think that's going to be aired either on Sunday prior to the Super Bowl or it's probably before the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yes, usually the network does that. Go ahead.
Okay, and the 4 women, African-American women that are being on the short list. Now, Joe Biden has not said who these women will be, only that they will be African-American women. Though the 4 contenders right now, DC Appeals Court Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is one of those. Ivy League educated. Georgia Federal Court Judge Leslie Abrams Gardner, who's the sister of Stacey Abrams, who's running for governor of Georgia. Now, we know the racist backlash she got when she ran for governor the last time. And I always say, you never know why things happen the way they do. And had it not been for her, Georgia would not have turned blue. So she created the same kind of playbook that the Republicans had for all these many years. And she turned it around on them and bit them in the hind parts. Okay. Then the 3rd judge, California Supreme Court Judge, Leandra Leandra Kruger is also being considered. And these are all 3 Ivy League judges that have been in now, first of all, white people typically don't, you always hear about the elements, I call them, the drug dealers, the gangbangers, the thugs. You don't hear about the highly educated Black women and men of this culture, that of our community, that represent a larger portion of the minority elite than do the criminals or the element. Okay. And so when you look, South Carolina federal court judge Michelle Childs is highly in contention. She is a close friend of not only Lindsey Graham, but oh my goodness, Jim Claiborne. So they are both, we have some of the strongest, most educated women that are candidates for this branch, more educated than any of the other women and men on the bench right now. Right now. Yet they're going through all of this racist bullcrap and all of, even Clarence Thomas. I mean, as much as I despise him, God forgive me, Clarence Thomas went through what he called a new age lynching when he was being confirmed to the court. All I'm saying is the only thing, and Reverend Jesse Jackson used to say this, all we want to do is play the game by the same set of rules. We're not asking for preferential treatment. We're not asking, the only reason that there is affirmative action is because there needed to be. You and I talked about, I'm all over the place because I'm so pissed off right now. And I'm sorry, but we're talking about the Super Bowl. And what's the man's name that's in charge of all of NFL?
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell. He's going to sit up and say, oh, we need to do better. Look at what he did to Colin Kaepernick. Okay. Wonderful documentary on Netflix. Colin Kaepernick, Black and White. If you get to see it, you should see it. This child talked about how the combines are like slave, slave blocks where you actually put these athletes where they're measuring the length of their arms and the thickness of their, and I mean, all of them is ridiculous to me. How we treat, yet they good enough to run, catch, or kick, but they can't throw. They don't want blacks to be quarterbacks.
And also there's no black ownership, majority ownership in the NFL. So again, all of that's being called out here. And again, I know some.
It makes me crazy.
It was the first 20 minutes. I got Dr. Manning all riled up. The reason that we call this stuff out, and again, I know that there's some New Thought people saying, well, you shouldn't focus on the appearances. Listen, the appearances have been around for a long time here. What we're calling for now is, again, for all the people of faith, including people in New Thought, to say, listen, enough's enough here.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get more racial balance. We have to get more financial balance.
Yep. That's it.
We need to be able then to, again, to have a world that works for everyone. If it does not work for a certain number of people, it doesn't work for anyone.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I agree. So the Black Renaissance. Okay. We had Oklahoma, Florida. Oh my goodness. And now I'm drawing a blank. We had Greenwood, Rosewood, what is the Los Angeles strip of land in Malibu, the Bruce's Beach, where the black people, I mean, we had wealth in our communities, banks, restaurants. You know, you and I were talking about the Green Book.
And we'll
Okay.
talk about that here in a moment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We had all of these places where blacks owned their own businesses, banks, financial institutions, colleges. Madam C.J. Walker, the first black millionaire. Okay, we had all of that. But when black people started to show their independence and their lack of dependence on the white establishment, what did they do? In Greenwood, what happened in Oklahoma, Tulsa? They went into that community, burned it down, and killed over 300 people.
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes. Rosewood, Florida, same thing. So even when we have something, it's that catch-22, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Now, I'm talking to you about memory. I'm not talking to you about history. This happened within our lifetime. Yet and still, I have people walk up to me. I have had people say to me, even in 2022, go back where you came from. I said, well, give me a ride. Since you bought me here, the least you can do is take me home.
Oh, wow.
You see, but what I'm saying is the mentality, even from Christianity. Now, you talk about on the flip side of that, with this white Jesus, with this curly hair and blue eyes and so forth and so on. This is the predisposition. This was the mindset that was perpetuated on everybody else but the white male.
Jesus came from the Middle East, okay?
Jesus came from the continent of Africa.
Okay. Yes.
Middle East,
Right. You're right.
North, whatever. He came from the continent of Africa. Now, when you ask people, tell me, what do you know about Africa? They think Africa is the size of California. I get so tickled with people. I said, have you ever seen a map of Africa? They don't have no clue. No clue. And I know I'm all over the place and I'm saying this, but I think because we are in Black History Month, by the way, the shortest month of the year with the most holidays, other holidays, but that's all right. We take it where we can get it. The truth of the matter is 90% of the history that we know, the history that we learn, doesn't come and would never come from a school anyway. This is a history. You know, I'm doing this thing for Reverend Robert, and I chose Josephine Baker to talk about. And part of that, And part of that is Josephine Baker was born in June of 1906, same year as my grandmother. She died in April of 1975, a year before my son. So we're not talking about Black history. You follow me?
Yes.
We're talking about Black memory.
About your memory, yes.
We're talking about Black memory. All right. So through all of this, we continue to rehash the same cycle of ignorance over and over and over again. But you remember, if you look at the story of Moses, Moses took the people out of Egypt. They had to wander in the desert for 40 years. Well, they were only two weeks away from where they needed to be. And why did they have to wander for 40 years?
Because of their disobedience to God.
And the
also, go ahead.
That's right. Go ahead. You're right.
And also their disobedience to God, and also their going back to their idol ways, and their complaining of,
that's right.
Hey, we can go back. We didn't have it so bad back in Egypt.
Right. So
we can go back there.
That's right. So that slave mentality had to die off, and each generation represents 10 years. So 4 generations had to die off before Joshua could go into the promised land. Now, Joshua was the 4th generation to enter into the promised land. Where did Moses go? he went to the mountaintop. He was not given permission. Why?
Right.
Because he was disobedient. So the same thing is going to happen because we're watching this. And I believe in the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit. I believe that there is a divine plan in all of this. This ain't the first time this has ever happened in this country or into the human environment. That's not the word I want, but I can't think of the word that I want. This has happened every 200 years when the have-nots begin to outnumber the haves. There is something that is created in order to thin out the generations of humankind. So we are in that seventh stage. Think about it. When you think about the 7 years of famine, okay? We had the cicadas that came out, which in biblically are locusts. Okay. We have the pandemic, which they had leprosy back in those days. So we're seeing the same thing repeat itself. The good news is this: we are more awake and aware than we have ever been. And there are consciousness of people that are beginning to recognize they're not this meat suit. We're not this flesh. Okay. The consciousness of your I am connects to the consciousness of my I am, because we are generations of and lifetimes of beings evolving into that love consciousness of the divine I am. We are one with the Spirit. And we are beginning to outnumber those halves. You see?
If you wonder what you stumbled onto this evening. Well, hi there. Welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. We have on
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you better start finding somebody else for Friday night because you're going to light this joint up.
No, and again, I challenge everyone, if you do not like this discussion, if this is upsetting you, then you have some good ammo to go ahead and take a look. What about this are you bothered about? Are you bothered about that we're talking about it? Are you bothered about the whole idea of Black history? Are you bothered about this? Again, this is our time. We have stayed silent for a long time, and that the movement of New Thought was born on the back of a civil rights movement.
Amen. Amen.
You need to go back and take a look. Wallace Wattles ran for Congress, worked for workers' rights. Emma Curtis Hopkins.
Martin Luther.
Yes.
Okay.
So I see all these people are, again, the whole idea is, especially I'm just talking also New Thought.
Yeah.
And again, people have said, well, why, we shouldn't be talking about that. And, this isn't like the New Thought of the 90s. You're right. It's not. It's because that the time has come for us to support everyone, again, in making a world that does work for everyone. That's the reason why we have social justice committees in, I think, both Unity and also in Centers for Spiritual Living. Is because, again, enough is enough is enough. You held up the Green Book. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
This is the Green Book, and I'm going to read it from the front. I've had this for like ever. And this is the guide for travel and vacations for the Negro traveler. You see that written there. That's what we were called back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Now, what most people don't realize was that you could drive from coast to coast, and 90% of the towns you went through, you couldn't use their bathrooms, go to their restaurants, or stay in their hotels. So the Green Book was designed, and I was looking in here today because I'm going to go to Ohio, since we're not going to give your location. but there is in let's pick a town. Akron, there
Okay.
is a place that was called Matthews Hotel at 77 North Howard Street.
And I can take you exactly there.
Okay.
There is a
Yep.
monument there now.
Okay. So you had every restaurant, and this is funny because it had hotels, motels, restaurants, tourist homes, and vacation resorts. Now, do you know what a tourist home is?
No, go ahead.
You know, you were going to talk about who the ladies of the night you were going to talk about.
Oh,
That's
well,
what a
okay,
tourist
go
home.
ahead.
A tourist home was a place where you would go for an hour or two with your significant whomever.
Okay. They even had that in the book. How wonderful.
This
Yeah.
had motels and resorts. It had places, beaches. It had hairdressers, funeral homes. I mean, all of the places that provided all of the needs that the Negro traveler would need. Not only that, but also within your own community. Because, you know, when I was growing up, you know, you couldn't even be buried. A white funeral home wouldn't even bury a Black person.
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that something? Even in death, you couldn't be buried by them. So when I say that we've been through, this is memory stuff, you know, slavery and what our ancestors went through but we're talking about what we went through, you know, in the last 60 years, 60, 70 years. You know, and I remember getting on the train, and I know we're at the top of the hour. My quick story for tonight was my grandparent, my brother and I wanted to go for a ride on the train. We had never been on a train before. And my aunt lived in Richmond, Virginia. And my grandparents they were going to take us on this train ride. So we go to the Union Station, Amtrak station, to get on the train. And we end up having to get on the very last train. There's no lights, no heat on this train. My grandfather is dressed in his gray suit with his Chesterfield coat and his hat. My grandmother has on her boot knit suit, baby blue suit with her mink stole and her patent leather handbag. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I had on a red velvet coat with a red black velvet collar and my hat, and my brother had on his coat and hat. We were dressed up, and we could not get on the car with the white people. We're on the back car, and I'm laying in my grandmother's lap, and I'm looking down at the end, and I'm saying, well, why can't we go down there? And my dignified grandmother said to me, well, we were a little late getting here, and there's no room on that car. My grandparents subjected themselves to this humiliation to give my brother and I a ride on the train. So when I tell stories about Black history, when you think about what the Black psyche, the DNA of our people, we have gone through and continue to go through. But at the end of the day, we recognize, as you recognize, that there's one common denominator that runs through all of us. We are created in the image and unto the likeness of God.
Yes.
And in spite of it all, we will rise. All of us.
Again, if you wonder what you're stumbled onto, we're talking this evening here on the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network to my very special guest and friend all the way from Washington, D.C., in our New Thought Media Network bureau there, the Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. We only have a few more minutes. So tell us about your show that we taped last week with Phil Clancy.
First, on this eve of Valentine's Day, I want you to know that I love you with all my heart and soul. And I value and appreciate the friendship we have, the love we've had for 20 years. People don't know how long we've been together. And I'm approved by Diana Mangus, Mrs. Mangus. I am approved by. So,
Yes.
and I'm so grateful to you and Diego and everybody in New Thought Media Network. And again, this is the place where we can tell these stories. And I think it's important. And I just really quickly, we don't get paid to do this. We do this because we are inspired, in spirit of, and want to be able to share the good news. Yes, we put a spiritual spin, and we want people to know that even though that this is crap is going on out in the world, there is a consciousness of divine mind that is emerging through us. And we need this network to be able to do that. So Phil is going to be on Sunday. He's going to talk to us about relationships. Phil is 30 in his 30s, and he's got an amazing perspective on relationships. And I think everybody will just really, really enjoy watching that. So tune in either Super Bowl Sunday or watch it on Valentine's Day. You can always repeat or rerun it on at your leisure. So I think people will enjoy it.
And also, if you go on to NT Media, if you go on to our New Thought Media Network YouTube page, you can also find it. You don't even have to wait. You can go ahead and see the program that we had with Phil Clancy. And again, putting a spiritual perspective to relationships. You know, how do we do relationships in this 21st century? How do we have spiritual relationships with other people? We have 30 seconds. Anything else there?
Well, real quick, how we do that is we become what it is we seek. If you want love in your life, you be the love you want in your life. You don't have to, nobody can complete you. You have to be complete within yourself. So if you want to manifest love into the world, be the love you seek. Do the love you seek. In spite of it all, continue to grow and love and be the consciousness of the I am that dwells within you.
The Reverend Dr. Charlette Manning. You can watch her show each and every week here on the New Thought Media Network. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Mountain on Sunday evenings with the Sunday Evening Masterclass. Charlette, thank you so very much. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, baby. Love you right back.
Thank you. All right. So lots of good stuff happening here at our network. So again, if you'd like to donate, please go to ntmedia.org/donate. Again, lots of wonderful programs for your spiritual enrichment and also to have you to have a new thought. So again, ntmedia.org/donate. On behalf of all of us here at the New Thought Media Network, including Reverend Briz, who's in the background, my boss. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferland Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ogden, thank you for your very generous donation. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.